Hey everybody, welcome back. We're going to go over the Kerguelen Plateau today. Everything there is to know about it. We're going to go over how to open the boss room door, how to collect the lilies of the valley, how to complete the heirloom, how to beat the boss, how to get the extra damage on the boss. Everything you want to know about the plateau, we're going to go over today. If the guide's helpful, you enjoy it, go ahead and like and subscribe. I want to be putting out more content about Rogue Legacy 2 in the future. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So here you can see me just opening a memory. This is what starts the Nama insight. Just lets you know about the boss and what you need to do. So in the Kerguelen Plateau, there's going to be rooms. One of them looks like this, and at the bottom is a Lily of the Valley. You need to collect this. It is going to take away your max health, so just know that that happens, and you're going to have to live with it. Once you collect one of those, you're going to need to go find one other one. There's a total of 3 in the biome. You only need 2 to open the boss room door. If you find the boss room, you can go read a memory fragment and it tells you that you need 2. So here I'm going to be going for this one. This one's a bit tricky to get into. You actually need to spin jump off of those projectiles that just shot me. And once you get 2 of them, you can go ahead and make your way to the boss room door. Next up, now that we have that, we're going to go over the heirloom, because an heirloom is necessary for this boss. So first up, for the heirloom, you have to read this journal entry. This journal entry is just going to be somewhere in the plateau. It lets you know how you can actually get to the heirloom. Because if you find the heirloom room, it's just a long giant room in the plateau, and it looks like you can just die on the water. But this journal entry lets you know that below the water line there is a resonant rope. Now the resonant rope just means you can spin jump off of it, which you're going to see me do right here. It looks like you're just going to die and there's nothing there, but trust me, you can spin jump on it. Obviously you need the echo kick, but to get to this biome anyways, you need echo kick. And once you get there, we're going to be starting the hardest heirloom of the game. This one is definitely harder than all the other ones. It's not even really that close. The only reason I was able to do this one on my first try was because of Heroes Complex. The trait that gives you 200% more, or actually 100% more health, but you can't heal anymore. And I ended up going in with full health. Now again, this one is completely based off double jumps. There's going to be a lot of platforming that you need to drop down and then jump back up. And it is tricky because you need to conserve a lot of your jumps using spin jump. Here you need to fall down again and then jump back up and get up with spin jump. It's definitely the hardest platforming wise, but also there's a couple of rooms. This one, for example, you need to kill all the enemies, and the enemies do a lot of damage. They do upwards of 100. Luckily I have retaliation rune turned on, so if any enemy touches me, they're just gonna die. And if it weren't for Heroes Complex, I would have honestly died in this room. If possible, go ahead and take damage from the water instead of an enemy. It's always going to be better. For me in this run, the water's only doing 7 damage. This room's a bit tough. You just need to make sure that you're always jumping over the fire. Keep that in mind. You can't just go gung-ho at the enemies. You need to be watching the fire and making sure that you don't get touched by it, because that's going to damage you for a lot as well. I was able to sneak past a lot of the fire in this room. This room didn't really hurt me all too bad. Actually, I don't even think I got hit in this room. Reaching that enemy up there, the blaze lock, is a bit tough because he likes to fly up in the air. But with double jump, and make short work of him. This room is probably one of the hardest because it's a bunch of aqua braces and they do a ton of damage. If you hit one of them, they knock you back and then you just end up flying into the other ones. This one, there's not really a great way to do this one. I would definitely recommend retaliation rune though, because when you do get hit, it's gonna kill an enemy. This room here, this is dedicated pretty much to just being able to properly parkour your way around using double jump. If you have Icarus wings, this room is a million times easier, but it's still very doable without Icarus wings. In fact, I don't have Icarus wings here. The key thing for that first jump is you need to conserve your double jump all the way, otherwise you're not going to be able to make the jump. This one you need to drop, dash, and then jump, or drop, jump, and then dash. This next jump here, I had a lot of trouble with this jump. I don't know what it was, but here, I mean, I have 139 health. I didn't end up doing it until I had like 80 health. Because that right there, I just kept hitting in the top of the water repeatedly. because whenever you spin kick, you get some vertical momentum, and the vertical momentum was just repeatedly killing me over and over. Luckily, again, Hero's Complex saved my life, and the water only does 7 damage. So if you have a barbarian character, or if you can get a character with Hero's Complex, you'll have a ton of health to spare, and you should be able to get through this. There, I finally do it. You just need to pull back the momentum a little bit. This final room is just some basic double jump and dash jumps. Just make sure not to touch the water, and you'll be good. And there, we finally have the double jump room. Double jump heirloom, sorry. Now there's one more thing we need to do before we fight the boss, and that is to get the 15% damage bonus. And this one is pretty well hidden. You actually need to go back to the very first room of the biome. And the very first room of the biome, if you go all the way to the right, that's where we're going to find the 15% damage bonus. I don't know if there's an insight that directs you back there. I just saw that in the Discord that is where the 15% damage bonus was, so I went ahead and went over there to go get it. If there is an insight, I honestly don't know where it would be, but here I'm going to show you exactly where it is. I'm just going to teleport back to the beginning since they luckily gave a teleporter in the heirloom room. So here you see that ledge up in the top right. You're going to want to double jump over to it, and then you need to just jump off screen. You can see in the map that my character almost looks like it's in the room above, and then you need to jump one more time, and then when you can't jump anymore, you need to hit the interact button. For me, it's RB. On keyboard mouse, I believe it is the R button, and then you'll get this dialogue to pop up, and then it'll say insight resolved. Once you have that 15% damage bonus, you're gonna be ready to fight Nama. I'm using a different character because I really struggled with the fight. One thing I kept running into, just a disclaimer, and you can see it happen in this fight, Nama was a bit bugged out, and Nama didn't do anything for the first phase of her fight. I did see this bug popping up in the Discord. Not really sure what it is. Some people were thinking it was related to fast forward. I'm pretty sure the devs have a bug fix for it. One thing to consider though, the second phase of the boss fight that you're about to see is just a harder version of phase 1. So phase 1 is just this phase but without the nightmares. Phase 2 just adds the nightmares. The little balloon lantern looking things, I don't really know what to call them. You're going to want to spin kick to destroy them. Alternatively, if you have the barbarian, you can barbarian shout all the projectiles away. That includes the lanterns. If you have the Valkyrie, you can also use her talent to twist them away. Spin them away rather. So right here you're going to see me use the barbarian shout and just clear them all off the screen. I would definitely recommend barbarian or Valkyrie purely because of that. I don't think that it's near as easy to spin jump the projectiles away, especially on this one where they're all vertical. It's tough to spin jump it and then go back through it and then also deal with the nightmares along the way. Just choose barbarian or Valkyrie and you'll be good to go. You do need to be careful because if you are spin jumping the projectiles, you'll get hit by the nightmare, which is what just happened to me there. You need to be constantly clearing out the nightmares. Moving in a circular pattern is going to be your best bet because then you can clear them left, middle, and right in order, and you don't have to worry about the nightmares as much. And don't forget that you do have a double jump now. I honestly kept forgetting about it because I'm so used to playing this game with only one jump. Other recommendations, right now I am rocking the air dash rune, which gives me an extra air dash. That is decently helpful if you find yourself in a tricky situation. You can just double tap dash like I did right there, and it gets me all the way to the middle. But it's basically just going to be constantly wailing on the boss, especially with Barbarian. I mean, I'm doing, 145 damage per hit. It's not going to take too long. I honestly thought that this fight, although difficult, I think that learning the dodges was a lot easier than the second biome's boss. And once you beat this boss, you'll get an estuary defeated and you're actually going to get an end screen, which is it's the same end screen after you've defeated Estuary Lamech, where it shows the stats of the run and it gives you a grade. That is the final boss of the Far Shores update. We do have 3 other biomes that are being previewed. We have the Sun Tower, the Grand Academy, and the area that's below the castle. I can't remember the name of it right now. But once you've beaten this boss, you're actually done with all the bosses and the biomes in the game currently. I'd recommend just grinding upgrades and trying to get as much armor as possible, because when the new biomes come out, it's going to be harder to get the tougher armor. Definitely try and get the Ammonite set. The Ammonite set is fantastic. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and it was helpful.